Hello students, and welcome once again. So here's what we're going to wind up making this week, not this week, today in this coding portion of our class. We're going to make ourselves a little menu. So once again, I'm going to go back into my example video file right here, and I'm just going to delete everything that is not in the body. As I take one last look at the SCR and I remind myself that coding while dyslexic is always a challenge. So let's just delete that right there, and we're going to start making ourselves a menu. So let's start out with a new paragraph right here, and we'll say, we'll name it CSC151 menu, whatever. We're just making ourselves a menu. Because in this menu, we're going to essentially make ourselves a list. But first off, let's go back and let's actually style this menu, because would you actually go to a restaurant where the menu is just it's just black text on a white background like that? It's kind of boring. So I'll just remember style equals, and I'll put some quotes in, and I'll say, text, align, center, and I'll semicolon out it, and I'll change, the color to, well, let's just say blue, and then I'll semicolon that out again, and I'll say, font size, I don't know, what are we thinking of, 40 pixels? Yeah, 40 pixels looks good. So, and we've already done that sort of stuff before. We've already gone and changed these sorts of things. What we're going to be doing now that's new is we're going to be working with lists. Okay? So what is a list? A list is it's a list of items. You have each individual thing and they just sort of stack on top of each other in a nice organized manner. So, we're going to make ourselves a list of this, I guess we'll say it's our restaurant, whatever restaurant we feel like putting in. So there's many different types of lists you can do. You can make a numbered list. You can make lists that go A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You can have A's, B's, and C's inside of 1, 2, 3's. You can style these however many different ways you want to. Considering this is an intro class for non-tech majors, we're just going to make an undefined list. We're going to have no special coding, no special processes. We're just going to say undefined list. So, what is the code, a tag for an undefined list? An undefined list is, UL. So, there's the start of my undefined list. There is the end of my undefined list. I told you, they really do shorthand these tags. And of course, if you really wanted to, you could keep making more and more and more tags that aren't even preset in, just with the style sheet, and maybe you have a thing that says banana, lava, rainbow, Jenga pieces, Hulk Hogan, you lack the dexterity to face the ultimate warrior. That's a really long tag, but you could go and put it in the style CSS and you can define what its properties are. So you have an infinite number of tags you can create on your own. We're just going to start with an undefined list, though. And inside that undefined list are a bunch of list items. So what do you think, if UL is undefined list, what do you think list item would be? If you said LI, you are correct. So there's one list item. You see how it already put a dot in? So let me just go and do that again. So LI, boop. You see how there's two dots now? Let's go with another LI, boop. There's another list item, so on and so forth. So I can just keep copying and pasting. So I'll just copy, and I'll paste that in, and I'll paste that in, and I'll paste that in. And now we've got ourselves, whoops, without me accidentally deleting things that I shouldn't be deleting. We've got ourselves a list of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got 12 things here. But you know what? Let's just style equals. Let's make these a little bit bigger so we can actually read them on the right-hand side. So font size, I don't know, 18. There we go. That works. Oops, sorry. Well, I put 28 instead, but let's just do 20. There we go. 20 size font there. So now here's where we can just go and we can just make our list of items. So maybe they have a hamburger. And they have a hot dog. And they have themselves a, French fries. Now, once again, if you notice, the amount of spaces I put in here before this list item doesn't really matter. I can put it all the way over here, and I can say, you know, milkshake. And you'll notice milkshake is exactly the same length as French fries, as hot dogs. It has the same sort of spacing right there in between it. Once again, much like enters, the amount of spaces you put in don't necessarily mean a thing when it comes to coding. It just the spaces inside this, those are for your own visual pleasure only. They have no functional purpose in actual coding when it comes to HTML. So, I don't know, I'll say soda, and I don't know. And then, of course, we can just go and say, oh, what sort of size they have. They have a salad. They have, I don't know, maybe we'll say they have a taco. I don't know, they got some ice cream. They've got chips. Okay, we'll say they have fish as well. And, oh, I don't know what else they would have. Okay, they'll have a cookie, and they'll also have some sort of... They'll have tea. Why not? Obviously, this is not organized in any sort of way. I've got food, then drink, then more food, then drink. It's not organized very well here, but that's okay. So let's just, add some dollar signs, some prices to this. So we got like $5 for that. We got, $4 for that. I don't know. The fries are, $3. The milkshake is, $7. Soda will be $2. I don't know. Salads are kind of expensive. $6. Tacos are cheap. You can have a taco for $1. Ice cream is really expensive if you ever look at it. At a store. $1 chips. Fish is kind of rare right now. Let's say $10. We'll say the cookie is $1, and we'll say the tea is $3. Now, obviously, if we look at all this, it's just smashing these little. Whoops, I put a percentage, not a dollar sign. It's putting all these guys really right next to the actual, letter. How do I get this to move over some? Because it doesn't matter how many spaces I put. The spaces are just for, they're for my own visual purpose. Well, this is where you need a special type of coding to tab it over. And I want to say it is EMPF? No, it's not EMPF. One moment, let me take a look at it run quickly. It's the and sign EMSP semicolon. Because I'm glad I would have remembered that one. So it is... Let's see here. Where's the ampersand sign? Ampersand I'm going with EMSP. EMSP. That is almost. Oh, and then a semicolon. There we go. Now screen. Now you see. Now there's an actual space. So let me just go and copy that and paste it again. Now there's another space. Another tab. Another tab. Another tab. Yeah, that's good enough. So I can just keep going. Tab, 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 tab. 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 There we go. Now that's in line. And you can line things up like that. That's the actual phrase for tabs. Now, of course, obviously, as you see, sometimes one tab is too many, but another tab is too small. That's where we got ourselves another, this guy, the ENSP. I swear these all sound like Myers-Briggs data types. So instead of this last one right there, I'll put in the ENSP. The ENSP jumps over, I believe, half as much as the EMSP. And of course, these all begin with an ampersand and end with a semicolon. So this is one of those bizarre coding things that I'm sure made sense when they were making it out. And, yep, there we go. Let me get a soda. Bop, 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 bop. 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 Not too much. So that'll be a ENSP, that variable. There we go. And as you can see, even then, it's still not perfectly lining up. So I might have to, just use an actual space on these things. Now, with that also being said, because one of them will jump over 2 spaces, one will jump over 4 spaces, the single space will actually jump over 1 space entirely. You can, in fact, line all these up identical as well if you have a proper font that will support it. So certain fonts, like Courier, I believe is the name of it, is specifically designed so that every single letter, every space, every uppercase, every lowercase, every number, symbol, etc., everything is the exact same length. So you would need a copper plate or some sort of font like that actually is designed to be equal distance apart. The one that we have right here is not going to give us equal distances, so we're always going to be a little bit wiggly wobbly on this side, on the right hand side. Now you can go in and if you want to go to change the font family right here on the CSS sheet and flat out change which ones we're grabbing, but we're not going to worry about doing the CSS sheet right here. Just, tab it over as much as you can and make it as in line as much as you can. And at the end of the day, you'll see a menu that kind of looks like this, with imagine all these things over on the right-hand side as well. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why don't we just use a table? Well, I'm glad you asked about that, because guess what the next lecture is about? Tables. So, what you're going to do is, we're going to do this the hard way first, so that we then appreciate the tables in the next video. So, thank you very much, and once you have a working menu with everything generally aligned with, some items on this side and then some dollar amounts over on this side, we'll save it, submit it through a Word document or text edit, or just send me this file directly. And, yeah, we'll have it, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.